75 newly elected judges are taking their oath at the Supreme Court. They promise to be independent, objective, and honest while holding court proceedings.
The youngest of the newly elected judges in Ukraine's Supreme Court is 34 years old. The oldest is 61. One-third of the judges worked either as the lawyers or scientists. Thus, they have no experience in this field.
Valentin Serdyuk has not got used to his new post yet. From now on, he's no longer a scientist, but a judge of the appeal court, which is part of the Supreme Court.
I was competing for the vacant position as a scientist. Thus, this job was not my goal in itself. My scientific achievements and their incorporation into legal usage will be helpful.
More than a third of the newly elected judges are women. Among them is Irina Litvinenko, who worked at Chernigiv's trial court.
It took me a lot of time to prepare for it. I had no vacations and I was not able to take an unpaid leave because I had a lot of things to do. I studied evenings and weekends.
This was the second and the final stage of selection that lasted for several months. As a result, Ukraine's High Qualification Commission of Judges selected 78 candidates out of 600. The Supreme Council of Justice recommended only 75 of them to be appointed as judges.
We
believe this is a very strong Supreme Court, those who won in the first election and those who won in the second one. Many among the new judges are former defenders, law scholars. They'll bring civilizational change. The Supreme Court of Ukraine began operating in December 2017. Since then, it has conducted over 120 legal proceedings. However, it didn't work in full capacity as only 118 candidates out of 200 required were appointed as judges.
From today, the Supreme Court of Ukraine will work nearly in full capacity. There are 193 judges now. This figure would seem large, but the amount of work is even greater.
President Petro Poroshenko called the Supreme Court a success of Ukraine's judicial reform. Poroshenko hopes that the team of his successor will continue to implement it.
The end of the competition for vacant positions at the Intellectual Property High Court and the qualification assessment of trial court judges, as well as selection of new trial and appeal court judges, are going up next. It is forecasted that these procedures will be completed in a year and a half.
The newly elected Supreme Court judges will start working in the near future. Yulia Boshko for UATV.